Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Wizard Fire. This was created by Dead East in 1992. This is also known as Dark Seal 2, which is a sequel of a game called Dark Seal or Gate of Doom. This was suggested by YouTube user Commander QUUHOD. And in my opinion, this is a really dull hack and slash isometric type of game. Just really did not capture my interest whatsoever. There are some cool cutscenes that are done in anime style that are interesting, but the gameplay itself, I just could not get into it. It's really not that good. There's a little bit of story here. It takes place in a fantasy type of realm. You can choose between 5 different characters, and you can play 2 players simultaneous play, not all 5 characters. There is a knight, there's a wizard, there's a bard, there's a dwarf, and there's an elf. And the knight and the bard and the dwarf are men, and the wizard and the elf are female. But the knight is immune to disease, the wizard has the best magic, the bard is immune to poison, the dwarf is resistant to confusion, and the elf is the fastest. Now there are certain enemies in the game that can cause certain ailments to befall you, and you can become confused or poisoned or diseased, whatever. But I just don't find the game very interesting. And there's a look at the knight there. But you have a fire button, and you execute a certain attack. And the faster you press it, I believe you can do a special attack. And then you have magic attack, and you have to fill up your magic meter by collecting or by defeating enemies over time. It'll replenish your meter. And when it's flashing like that, when that little book thing is flashing, you can cast your spell, and your spell will be cast until the meter is empty, and there's one of the spells. And the higher your meter, the stronger spell you can cast. Or I believe that's how it works. I really couldn't get into the game enough to really care. I'm sorry. I just found the game very dull. But we'll take a look at the different spells I was able to cast. And here you get to choose between the characters you want to play as. We'll look at all of them and the spells that they can cast, or some of them anyway. But I like the anime style cutscenes. Very cheesy voice acting, but I like the anime style for the cutscenes. But yeah, we'll start with the knight, and his special attack is swinging a mace around. You'll notice that in many areas there are certain enemies that will really annoy you and will just like consistently shoot at you until you kill them. And they can be small enemies like mosquitoes, and they'll fire at you if you give them the chance. So you need to just inch forward and then kill those guys and then move on. And there will be some things that come out of the ground that will they'll fire at you if you let them, and you'll need to kill them off. Even with your strong attack like the spinning mace, it's really not that strong at all. The fighters are all really pretty weak in general. And here is a boss. This boss is super easy. You just stand just out of the way of his firing range and just hit him when you can, and then stay out of the way of his flame when he flies overhead. But note that my book is charged, meaning I can cast a spell. You have an energy meter of hearts, and it's at the top left. There are various treasures you can collect. Oops, I got burned. I would have got burned no matter what if I tried to dodge that fire. And there, I killed the first boss. The music is good, but just something about the action, how repetitive it gets, just dull.
Continue. We will make you pay.
But again, this character that I'm using is the knight. And yeah, I'd never seen this in arcades. I would have probably gotten bored with it fast. If you want a much better game, note those dragonflies will appear. Take care of them quickly if you can, because they'll shoot at you. And your meter of life isn't very high. When you collect treasures, there's like a little series of windows above your life meter. They'll start to fill up, and really I'm not sure what all those treasures do. They're probably mostly just points. But yeah, this game is really dull, and the action is so repetitive, and it just doesn't interest me very much. Yeah, here especially, just inch forward a little bit at a time, and when you see more dragonflies appear, take care of them, because they'll just start shooting at you if you leave them alone. I had never seen or heard of this until Commander QUUHOD suggested this. Even if a game sucks and you know it sucks, if you want me to do a review of it, don't worry. I'll try to get to it. Yeah, that time I just spat out treasures or something for some reason with that magic spell. Some of the magic spells are really stupid. The wizard can turn into a pig with one of her spells, and I'm not kidding. They're really that lame. You can fall off this bridge, so try not to do that. But yeah, inch forward a little bit at a time if you note that there are going to be dragonflies or other enemies that'll appear one at a time and can shoot at you if left alone. And don't fall into that acid there, or whatever that is. You'll definitely get hurt. It's easy to run out of life in this game. Now I'm gonna use this spell is cool, I will admit. You get to be this giant flying angel, and you can attack the enemies while you're flying about. You are invincible during that spell. And now we face the second boss, and this is a giant tree. You just gotta keep moving all around it and get out of the way of its shots. And it's gonna send these elves or trolls or something at you. But yeah, there's a lot about this game that I just did not bother learning, just because it's so incredibly dull and repetitive. When you defeat a boss, you get a big boost to your magic meter. Cheesy dialogue, but kind of interesting cutscenes, at least. Everything else about the game, it just does not interest me. Well, I have my magic meter full again. You can, in this level, you can find multiple paths to get to the boss. Some of the paths will be dead ends, but you'll likely be able to get treasures at the very least. And there's gonna be this cloud that's shooting at the enemies for a while. Some weird spells, some helpful spells, some that don't do shit for you. I just do not like this game. And there I died. And you lose all your treasures. I elected not to continue, so I now get to put in my initials. It is Wizard Fire by Data East in 1992, and it is also called Dark Seal 2. And the original game in the series was called Dark Seal or Gate of Doom. I had not seen any of those games in the arcades. It's very uninteresting game in my opinion, just not very good. And now we're going to use the wizard. You saw during the attract mode her spell that has her as like a giant lizard. And here's another spell. She can turn into a pig, I guess. There are condition spells that some enemies can cast at you. They can poison you, they can confuse you, stuff like that. And here's another boss. Or this might be a mini boss. If you've ever heard of this game and wanted to give it a try, I recommend you don't. I don't think it's a very good game. And here is the bard that I'm using here. No, I guess that was not the final boss of the level. Sometimes there will be doors. Some of them you can go in and some of them you don't. Some of them enemies just come out of. You can fall into the abyss. Don't let that happen. And now the bard can turn into a cyclone with his spell. You can get treasures that will give you like stronger offense, possibly stronger defense, might make you faster, stuff like that. And here's the next boss. It's a dragon that can breathe poison. And here I picked the Dwarf. I like his magic spell, or one of them, where he turns into a boulder, and every time he lands on the ground, as he hops around, it causes damage to the boss. I think that's pretty cool. And the Dwarf can fire axes, throws axes. The Dwarf is probably a good character to use. And here is the elf I'm using here. Being a isometric kind of viewpoint of a game, it might seem like you can only move up left, up down, up right, you know, in 8 directions, or 4 directions that way. But no, you can move in 8 directions. You can move like straight up.
The enemy castle. So, do we go win? No, Dave, will you?
Cheesy dialogue.
Oh, Days are not gone. There's an icon inside which will transport us. Let's go!
But these cutscenes are definitely the highlight of the game. Everything else about it just does not hold my interest. Now on this level, you'll need to get to these, what were they, like horse head icons or something? Yeah, the elf's special attack. You know, when you press the attack button fast enough, she'll like fire off multiple spread shots at once. Yeah, you want to walk over those little horse head things, and then you'll teleport to a different part. And eventually you'll teleport to where you want to go, and then you stand on this square platform, and then you'll go closer to the end of the level. Here is her attack, and she's also a cyclone spinning around. You can plow through enemies with invincibility for a very short time. But yeah, you need to go stand on this this little area here. And this is not the boss either. You have to shoot. You have to shoot that gal, I guess. Or maybe it's the crystal thing. You have to shoot that enough to deplete the energy completely. It doesn't really take that long. And now we go into this area with these mummies popping out of the caskets. There's a bunch of skeletons that rise up. Some of the walls can be destroyed, and you'll be able to go to a next area. And we go back to the desert. And we have to destroy these two golems. Now, the energy meter looks like you're not doing any damage, but when you hit the golems enough, that meter will change color, and eventually you'll be on a meter that can deplete. And now we've just about killed the golems. I put on invincibility by this point because I just wanted to beat the damn game, and I was getting sick of it. Just so boring and repetitive and just dull as all get out. Good gravy. I did not like this game. But yeah, you cannot have all 5 players playing at once. Only 2. You know, a maximum of 2 at once. Then everybody teleports to this castle in the sky. The music, you know, it gets kind of cool after a while, but eventually it's just so loud and repetitive and it just like drowns out any spoken dialogue. You just want to turn the game off, just not ever pick it up again. Really dull. And this boss is a giant spider. Yeah, like I said, I put on invincibility by this point just because I wanted to beat the game as fast as I could. And even then, it felt like it was taking forever. Just an incredibly dull game. Not very interesting at all. And that's the end of that spider boss. And now we're almost to the end of the game. As we go up this stairwell, we can shoot at this dragon, but that's not really the boss. And you need to make your way across the abyss, and eventually you'll get up here, and you'll face the final boss. I can't remember what the final boss's name was, but just kill him and get it over with, because this, even just watching my replay of this game just makes me want to fall asleep. Just dull as hell. even playing multiple players, this is just not a very interesting, fun game. And now let's just go ahead and beat some bitch. Come on and die already. Yeah, even when you're on like that little final fingernail of energy of the boss, it still takes forever for it to die, it seems. Just die, please. There we go. And now we're going to get to see the ending of Wizard Fire, also known as Dark Seal 2. Dead East in 1992. Not a very good isometric hack and slash game. But I do like the anime-styled cutscenes.
I hope we work together again.
I think we will.
Yes.
Just send word if anyone needs a hand. Good luck, my friend. And good luck to all of you, too.
I guess she referenced one of the characters as her friend, and then good luck to all of you too. I guess that's her friend. Well, at any rate, that was Wizard Fire by Data East in 1992, also known as Dark Seal 2. And yes, there was a Dark Seal 1, and it was also known as Gate of Doom. I have not played that one or this one in the arcades. And this was really pretty dull. I was not impressed with this one. But this was suggested by YouTube user Commander QUUHOD. And again, if you request a game, don't worry about it if you think the game that is bad, but you still want me to review it. I've reviewed games that I knew were bad, and I just wanted to review them anyway, so that's alright, I'll take requests. But after a few more of these, I'm going to do a bunch of Nintendo versus arcade games, so if you request some stuff, I might not get back to it in quite a while. But don't let that keep you from requesting games. I'll put in my initials now. But that was Wizard Fire by Data East in 1992, also known as Dark Seal 2. The sequel to Dark Seal, also known as Gate of Doom. And there's my high score. Well, that was Wizard Fire by Data East in 1992. And it is also known as Dark Seal 2. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching Wizard Fire or Dark Seal 2. I will catch you later in the future with another video. Y'all have a good one, folks. Weekend coming up. See you later, folks. Bye-bye.